kind of getting back to the idea of what defined PBS, one thing that we really focus on is regional team building and teamwork, teamwork, teamwork. Now, a big thing that we try to do is, when something goes down, like right now, everybody's kind of dealing with the COVID crisis and all that. It's all hands on deck. And that is something that we kind of see as part of the company culture, which is really nice. But even outside of that, on like a normal day when things are kind of where they're supposed to be, and we're not dealing with all the craziness that is the world right now. One thing that we do pride ourselves on is having a large network of analysts that do have regional team building. So we'll do things like escape rooms, scavenger hunts, autism walks. We spend a lot of time being involved in the community, and I think that is a really important part of what makes our team so much fun. As a matter of fact, I think every year we do kind of like, we'll get our team members together and we'll do something like the one year we kind of got everybody to go to Disney and hang out for a little bit, which was kind of a fun thing.
Yeah.
So we do have fun with that. Now, there are teams to support every aspect of a clinician's day. So if you're going out to work, there are multiple people. There's client service specialists that focus on getting clients into services and families into services. Staffing specialists that get you out to people. Our regional support specialists that work on pretty much authorizations to make sure services can continue. RCTCs, senior analysts, regional coordinators, quality assurance, credentialing, clinical directors. There's so many different people. And as a matter of fact, I've seen this company since I've been here grow from having that real small niche where it was just RCs, like regional coordinators, and senior analysts, to all these other things. So it's really amazing to see kind of how much it's expanded as a result of just the need and understanding what those needs were.
And
I know. So this is me too. Sorry, right? Because I'm talking about because it's blue.
Yeah.
Okay. So another part of this too, and one thing that I think people are really interested in is this idea of advancement. Now, if you come and work with us as an RBT, or anybody who works with us as an RBT, what you might see is that there's a linear approach to this professional development path. Like once you become an RBT, you kind of get this passion for behavior analytic work, and then you want to become a BCBA or BCABA. A BCABA is a bachelor's level credential for behavior analysts, which is kind of cool. You won't see that in a lot of professions where there is like a bachelor's level certification that has a pretty good career that you can make out of it. But then what you'll see is you've got your RBT, your BCBA, and then move into regional leadership. And that's kind of a linear approach. You'll see somebody move into a regional clinical training coordinator or an RCTC role, senior analyst, a regional coordinator. There are those paths for RBTs once you kind of get into the field and start working with us.
For sure. And Shane mentioned that's kind of the linear path, as your education and experience, that's a role a lot of the people take. There's also different paths that people take sometimes as an RBT. Like I mentioned, pretty much everybody in our company has some type of ABA experience. So we have RBTs that decide that they want to get into more administrative and then support us as our staffing specialist, or who move into a quality assurance role, who move into an IT role. And we actually recently developed a role called a RBT mentor. They still need supervision from their behavior analyst, but it's essentially RBTs who have been working as RBT for a while and have some really great experience under their belt, and still having that supervision would make good mentors for people who are just starting out. We have that question mark there because we also develop roles every single day. And I will share this and Shane will share his, when I started at PBS, recruitment manager was not a position, but they saw a need for it. And it was something that I was very interested in. And so I moved from providing ABA services as a behavior analyst to doing recruitment as well. And same thing for Shane.
Yeah. So a big part of my role was I moved from being a regional coordinator. I had moved that linear path where I was a behavior analyst into a regional coordinator. And what ended up happening was there was kind of a gap for our training systems and somebody to manage the training systems that was kind of blending the technology and our training together, developing content, doing dissemination work. And so a lot of what I do now is actually using behavior analytic work and science to develop trainings, to develop coursework, to develop systems that are user-friendly, and to disseminate science at conferences. So I get to go speak at conferences a lot, which is a lot of fun. But that's a big part of my job, is like just kind of being this haggard looking face of the company sometimes at these conferences. So I get to show up and kind of talk science and really do some cool stuff with that. So, but they carved my role out of a need that they found. So that is something that does exist, and we've seen that happen multiple times. You saw that happen with the senior analyst role, the RCTC role. You saw that with a few different things like that, which was cool.
Yep. So yeah, there's, kind of an assigned path that people take, but new paths popping up every day. And with that, we just want to open the floor for any questions that you guys have. We do understand that Troy University has an ABA minor, so some people might know a little bit more than others. Some people, this may be the first time they've ever kind of heard some stuff. But so any question is more than welcome, and please, I would say, I guess, just go ahead and unmute yourself and just let us know if there's anything that we can answer for you.
They always talk about the positives within a field whenever recruiting for a certain company. What would you say have been your negative experiences that you have experienced personally, or that you have witnessed others experience?
Ooh, that's a good question. Amanda, do you want to take that?
Yeah, so I definitely really, because I think language is important, I wouldn't want to say as a negative, but definitely a challenge. The field that we work in is going to have challenges. It is the nature of it. So certainly there are, those clients that really don't want us there. You have to be able to accept that, understand that, work past those barriers. Sometimes it's caregivers who don't necessarily want us there, or who feel like, you're telling me I'm a bad parent, or you're telling me what to do. Like, I was doing fine. So making sure that parents understand, first of all, we're not there to tell you that you're a bad parent. We are just here to share, some knowledge with you, and you're a great parent, and here's some more stuff for your tool belt. And so some of that stuff, just the nature of the ABA field, can be, some of the challenges. I can be transparent and let you know that, when you get into working in the field, there are some of the red tape sort of things, authorization, that sort of stuff that you have to, that's part of it. It's the insurance company's jobs to make sure that they're not just handing out money head over foot, that they're being good stewards with their money and make sure that the people really need it. So you have to overcome all that, and sometimes it's great, and sometimes there are things come up and we're like, really? So those are definitely some challenges that the ABA field presents, but it is, it's nothing compared to the rewards that you get from it. So, and I don't know if there's anything else besides that, Shane, that you would mention, but
yeah, I would say, just like any other helping profession, I think if you get into it for the right reasons, it's gonna pull on your heartstrings. And I think that is something to always kind of keep in mind. I would say that one of the more interesting things about behavior analysts is that we have a very specific language that we use, and that tends to kind of have this interesting effect on people where they hear us talking about positive and negative reinforcement, and maybe there's behavior analysts that don't really have a good kind of what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have we don't get a good rap sometimes. Like, we don't play well with others is what you'll hear sometimes. And that is kind of a challenge. Like, we have a lot of work to undo, just like psychology does. I don't think that we have any more baggage than something like the history of psychology. As a matter of fact, I think we have less, because behavior analysts weren't using lobotomies that wasn't part of our field. But I think, just kind of keeping that in mind is, like, every field, every profession, there's always something. Personally, I've not had a lot of issue in the field, except for when it comes to challenging cases and kind of burning out because of challenging cases. But you kind of, pull yourself up and go back at it, and learn how to kind of cope with it too. Like, it's not just like I was like, well, I'm burnt out, here I go. It's like, it can be tough. It can be tough. It can be heartwarming, but it can be very tough too.
Yeah. Shane does a lot of presentations and work on self-care in the field. So it's something near and dear to his heart. So good question. Thank you, Sam. Anything else?
So somebody asked if we offer practicum or internship. Would that be a social work degree for an SW degree? Just so I'm clear. So one thing I'll say is like, we don't really do any sort of, social work. Unfortunately, like we are really, all of our practicum and internship is specific to behavior analytic work.
Yeah.
So that is something to kind of check out. We have had the discussion around practicum around licensed professional social work and stuff like that, but it hasn't really been something that has been within our scope per se. So.
And then we have a question, being an RBT, I recently moved and I'm thinking of being an analyst. How would I go about that? So you already are an RBT, correct? Would you mind unmuting your mic and just telling us a little bit as far as like what coursework, if any, you've taken in behavior analysis that'll.
Yeah, so I actually worked with PBS. I just moved because my husband's in the military, and I don't know, because I saw that there was Tennessee, but I can't find anything. So, but I'm thinking of being behavior analysis because I did RBT for about 4.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Very cool.
So I would recommend checking out the board website for like the coursework requirements. Like there's something called a VCS course sequence that you would have to get into for your coursework, because there are a few different requirements. Like you'll have your education requirement, so you have to have a bachelor's or a master's degree. You have to have your coursework. There's a specific number of hours that you have to accrue, and there's supervision, which you can't accrue until you're into some kind of coursework. So for example, like when I went to FIT, when I did that program, I started accruing supervision the day that I registered for, and that the day that the course started, I was able to do supervision. So I did mine through there. So those are kind of the three main components before you can sit for your exam. Definitely worth looking at programs that offer and look at that, because we said like Troy has a minor, right? So there is a minor in behavior analysis here to check out. So that's something to kind of start digging into.
Okay, yeah, because right now I'm just about finished with my bachelor's in human services, but I'm minoring in ABA.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Yeah. So like Shane said, the BACB, so the Behavior Analysis Certification Board website, I typed into the chat, if you go to bacb.com/BCABA, that'll tell you all the criteria, all the different classes, because they basically, there's a certain course sequence that you have to take. The BCABA is if you would be interested in a bachelor's degree, and the BCBA obviously would be if you wanted to continue on for an extra a master's degree.
Okay.
So if you copy those links and just go to those pages, that'd be a really great starting point to see what exactly do you have to do.
Okay.
The question here, if I major in social work and minor in behavior analysis, what classes would I need to add? I will, Shane, what?
Yeah, so going back to the course content requirements, there are some programs that offer a certificate course sequence that'll just be specific to the behavior analytic coursework you would need to supplement your degree. Every program is different. Every program is unique. So I don't want to really, it's hard to say because there's a specific hours requirement, and every program is so different. I mean, I teach, like I've mentioned before, I teach it at ASU and FIT. So I teach at these two different programs in academia, and both of their certificate programs are entirely different that account for, they have different classes that have different content, but it still meets that hours requirement that you'll find on the board. So what I would recommend is going onto the BACB and seeing the VCS course sequences that are available, and it'll tell you what hours you need. And then if you're at a school or you're at a program like here, and there is that program that does have behavior analytic coursework in it, they may have the courses that you need to meet that certification requirement. So, which is the most non-answer that I can give you. I would say make sure you check the board for sure.
Yeah. And Sam, can you clarify? Okay, so you said, is there anything I could do online, like courses to work on, like to obtain Can you clarify for me a little bit, like what you mean?
Yeah, it was hard to figure out how to word over text. I just didn't want to interrupt. I didn't want to lose the thought. Okay, there we go. Sorry, technical difficulties. So I'm interested in being an RBT, and I'd like to work under PBS. You guys seem like a really great company, but I don't finish my psychology degree until December. So is there anything I could do in the meantime? Like you said, you offer coursework to become an RBT under you guys. Is there anything I could do in the meantime, since there are no offices in Alabama, so I can't really travel since I'm doing schoolwork? So what would you guys recommend, a possibility of completing anything, or?
Well, I will let the creator of our RBT training answer that.
Oh, I have so much good news for you. Okay, so first of all, we were literally talking yesterday about the possibility of opening an Alabama office.
First of all, yes.
So that is like right there. So I want to say they probably did it and didn't tell anybody yet.
For real,
so
we probably.
What's wrong with that info? I need to know.
Oh yeah, I will keep you posted.
No, we are in Pensacola and over there. So we are like right on the cusp of Alabama, and yeah, honestly, that will probably be one of the next states that we go into. So I don't have an exact date yet, but anyway. So yes, that's good news. That's good.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is that we do offer a 40-hour training online. It's a 40-hour course, and that's the first thing you need to do the online or to do the RBT certificate. One thing that we do within that is it is a self-paced course. So you have 180 days to complete that 40-hour training, and so we do offer that. That is available, and so that is the first step that you would want to take is because to be an RBT, all you really need is a high school diploma, that 40-hour training, and a couple of those other steps. So that 40-hour training is going to be a really that's kind of the critical thing, though. So we do offer that. If you want to reach out, we can get you set up with that.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah,
we will make sure that you guys have, first of all, like our contact information if you think of any questions, and we'll make sure we'll go ahead and get over to you guys. We have a little quick how to register for our training and how to apply with PBS. So we'll make sure that information gets to you guys. But yeah, it's very easy. It's self-paced. So yes, that would be the thing that you can do.
And you get to listen to me talk about behavior analysis for like 30 hours of that 40 hours.
Wonderful, beautiful.
Awesome.
And are there any RBTs in Alabama? As far as in general, there's definitely RBTs in Alabama. So PBS is not in Alabama right now. I can actually tell you that we have a lot of people applying from Alabama because we are currently in the Pensacola, so the Florida Panhandle, which is obviously very close, and we are also in Georgia and expanding, like Columbus, Georgia, and stuff like that. So the east coast of Alabama, we have people applying and just commuting, right over the state line. So plenty of RBTs in general in Alabama, and PBS will probably be there very soon.
Right now, there are currently verified 550 RBTs in the entire state of Alabama.
Oh wow!
Woo! Dang, that's a lot. Wow.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
Yeah, and Eleni, yes. So first step is the 40-hour training, and this is a national certificate. So if you take PBS's training and then move somewhere that we aren't, that's okay. You take that certificate, that training with you. So, and then the second thing is a competency assessment. Essentially, it's a board-certified behavior analyst, making sure that you can demonstrate those skills with a client, that you know what you're doing, and they've observed you and given you that seal of approval. And then yes, last step is a test. So those are the three things. Okay.
Do we work with military? Yes, we do. There are a couple we do, because we are all over Florida, California, Texas, and we do work on some of the bases. Sometimes it just takes like an agreement with our local teams to get out there. And we do work with people who are in the military that are traveling a lot, because that does happen sometimes, where it's like you get your certification. Again, that RBT certificate is an international, or it's a national certificate. So you can actually take it state to state across the state lines. Every state has different licensure requirements, but at the very least, you'll be able to cross state lines with that certificate. So if you are a military family and you have to up and leave, it's totally something that you could keep.
Yep. And it works out really well when our behavior analysts, if they are a military family, because we're in so many different states, most of the time we are able, if somebody's moving with their spouse in the military, most of the, not every time, obviously we're not in every single state, but there's a good chance that we are serving clients in that area that they're going to. So the relocation possibilities are certainly a plus being so nationwide. Does anybody have any other questions? Anything else?
I know I keep asking so many questions.
No, please.
No, it's great.
Bring them on. Bring them on.
You said BCBA is a bachelor's level to require, I lost the word. I lost the train of thought.
BCABA, Board Certified Assistant Behavior Analyst, is a bachelor's level certificate.
Okay.
Board Certified Behavior Analyst is a master's level certificate.
Okay.
And I will quote Shane saying, the master's degree can vary a little bit as long as you have certain specific classes that you have taken. For example, I have my degree in clinical psychology. If I wanted to sit for the BCBA exam, there's a couple extra classes that I would have to take. I actually don't have to get a whole other master's degree. I just have to take those classes I can actually enroll as a non-degree seeking student because I already have a master's degree that I think the board would accept. I will go back to Shane saying I would always check. I would always check with the board first and say, hey, here's my degree. These are the classes I've already taken. Would you accept my master's degree if I take these couple extra classes?
Yeah, there's three master's degrees that they approve. It's clinical psychology, applied behavior analysis, and education. Okay. For bachelor's degrees, it's anything. You can get a bachelor's degree in pottery. As long as you have those additional classes, you'll be fine.
Okay, that's all I was wondering because I didn't know if I could work my way up once I got my bachelor's degree, and I plan on pursuing higher education in either clinical psychology or ABA. So
cool.
I just want to check on that.
Totally doable. As on January 1st, 2022, they are changing the requirements and they are opening up the restriction on master's degrees. So it is going to be a little bit more varied. So it sounds like you'll be good within that.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. No problem.
So we're coming into our last probably 5 to 8 minutes. If you guys want to share any of your contact information or anything we can send out via email afterwards, there may be 1 or 2 more questions though.
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and type our email addresses here for you guys to have it right off the bat. And then what we will do is speak just with you, Lauren, and career services over at Troy University and get you guys some additional information as well. But I will go ahead and type my email address in here if anybody wants to copy and paste it. Again, I'm the recruitment manager, so I work with all of our teams and all of our different states. And then I'm going to type our website too. And that teampbs.com is our website. If anybody is in one of the areas that we serve and is like ready, you go to that website, you can sign up for our RBT training there. You'll see the find an RBT training button. If anybody is in one of our service areas and is interested in applying, you can literally click the button that says work with Team PBS, and that will bring you to our application page. So that is just some quick contact information about us, and then we will get you guys a little bit more. And
that's fantastic. Thank y'all for being so flexible with us, and for all of our attendees for jumping back on. I think we got all but one back on. I think we figured out that Zoom is not doing the free extended sessions anymore. So I'm sorry we found that out the hard way today.
They're cracking down.
Yes. We've got about 6 minutes. If anybody has any last minute questions, or Shane or you, Amanda, want to add anything to kind of wrap that up for us, we really appreciate your time today. Yeah,
no problem. It was great talking with you guys. I don't think I have anything to add right now in the last few minutes, but it's an incredibly rewarding field. It really is. And we have so many people that start out with us on the ground level and just train and grow with us. I think, oh my gosh, so many of our, Shane, so many of our clinical directors, so many of our training coordinators started out with us. So it really just encourage everybody to do your research, see if it's the right fit for you, see if ABA and us at PBS is the right fit.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would say too is at the end of the day, like it is the most rewarding field. I used to be a barista at Starbucks. I did all kinds of different jobs in the world, and I really just, I have really loved what I do. And I'm not somebody who will like stick around if I'm not happy doing the thing. And I've been doing this for 12 years and just really, really love behavior analysis. It has this incredible power. It's one of the only fields that is, somebody said it's one of the only fields that can be used to benefit every other field of science if it's applied correctly, which is one of the really cool things about what we do. So I don't know. I get to be a scientist every day for work. That is the coolest thing on the planet. I don't know why people wouldn't want to do something like that.
It's like, heck yeah.
Yeah. It's like what I wanted to grow up to be.
Well, we love seeing you guys love your profession, and I know that's really beneficial for all of our students and attendees to see. So
yeah.
Thank you guys so much. And thank you everyone for attending.
Have a good one. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
Okay.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.